one of the most, probably the most incredible thing about God is his love. But there is also the Jesus who went out and flipped tables and was not afraid to tell the truth.
But the one thing that we all agreed on is all of these books, they were written after the Bible was written. And all of the principles, all of the guidance, all of the ideas have already been, as far when it comes to human relationships and how to live your life. Do you think that, like, in this modern era that we're living in right now, do you think the church has gotten a little bit weak in the sense of, like, where's the God that is tough and that holds you accountable and holds your feet to the fire? Like, where did that go? And is it still there somewhere, and what do you think about that anyways?
Yeah, I think the church today is challenging in a lot of ways because it's become so commercialized. Everybody has social media. You have pastors like rocking chains and designer clothes on stage, and I'm not judging them for it, but it's definitely what that does is it does bring a wariness to me, and I'm considering, like, what is the character of this person, and where is their heart? And that's a hard thing too. The entire culture we live in, at least in the US, it's really this very passive culture where you better not disagree with somebody because you don't want to offend them. And it's actually better to quiet your opinion than to voice something that's in opposition. And we've basically removed this ability for you, Daniel, to have an opinion and me have an opinion and us be in total disagreement, but us also be at peace. And that's ultimately a place we should be able to be, but we're not. So what that has led to is, like, almost this assignment of silencing across the nation. And I think also with God, and that has been a really challenging part with me as I base my message around God. Is there's this side of God that is all loving and he's nurturing and he calls you back to him no matter what you've done. And that's one of the most, probably the most incredible thing about God is his love. But there is also the Jesus who went out and flipped tables and was not afraid to tell the truth, regardless of what the people around him thought. And so me coming up as a student, as a coach, or as a student, as an employee, and as a teammate, what I always resonated with was, you got to get it together. This is the blunt and honest truth. I'm going to speak reality into your situation. And that was what resonated with me. So I feel like as a coach, I bring that same bluntness, especially to the guys that I'm speaking to, because when I was in their shoes, that's the way I needed to hear it. I didn't need to be coddled. I needed to be told, Jack, you need to wake up. So that's how I'll present my message. But yeah, there is a lot of backlash. And it's like, is that even Christian? Or, you should be moving with more empathy and compassion. So yeah, there's a lot of watered down messaging, especially around God. Churches are afraid to, like, stand on some of the honest truths. Like, they won't even say that there's a male and female gender because they don't want to cause controversy. But if you're going to stand on what you believe, the beliefs that are determined or laid out in the Bible, they're clear on a lot of these controversial topics. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's, somebody who stands unwaveringly on the truth that they believe in, no matter what other people say, is always somebody who is, I feel like I've been able to be led by.
I mean, it's pretty easy, really. I mean, you open up the Bible and it's basically a manual. We were talking about this the other day. I spoke somewhere and some people had asked, like, what are book recommendations? And of course I mentioned my book, Wealth on the Beach. And of course I mentioned How to Win Friends and Influence People. And we talked about Think and Grow Rich. And then, but the one thing that we all agreed on is that all of these books, they were written after the Bible was written. And all of the principles, all of the guidance, all of the ideas have already been written, as far when it comes to human relationships and how to live your life and how to create a great life. It's already been written. And so I think it's really sad that you have a church that is afraid to say things like, what is a I mean, these are basic things that everybody should be on the same page, especially every Christian. We should all be on the same page and say, like we know what a man, like, and who cares how you vote politically? I mean, common sense is common sense. Either, and what frustrates me about the church is that, you know, there's a lot of people that call themselves Christians, but they vote Democrat. And I'm not saying, you know, to not vote Democrat, but I'm just saying, why are you voting Democrat?
Yeah.
If every Democrat that has ever been asked, what is a woman, they can't answer that question that is totally basic. How could you be voting for that party when there's so many inconsistencies when it comes to morality and ethics and things like that? I don't know. What's your take on all that?
Yeah, I agree. I made a post where I basically outlined a couple things that I stand for, and I said that I believe in Jesus as the Bible as the Son of God, and God of the Bible being the one true God. And I also stand by and support Trump as our president. And a lot of the backlash I got was Trump is far from Christian. And there was nothing I ever said about Trump being the perfect representation of Christianity or me following him for him encompassing Christianity. But it's simply, I have an option of A or B. And this man encompasses and will do more to move the values that I believe in and stand on forward than the other party will. And it's simple. That's all it comes down to.
Thank you for watching our short clips on Alonzo Academy. If you'd like to watch the next short clip, click here. If you'd like to watch the entire podcast, click here.